Okay, so when you grab your preloaded plastic biliary stent, a couple things to note. You're always going to have your French size here. It's normally 7 or 10 French, and then you're going to have the length of the stent. This particular stent is a duodenal bend, also known as an Amsterdam stent. This stent is preloaded onto the introducer and the pusher. So we'll remove it from the package, pull the white handle out of the plastic, and then you're just going to carefully unloop it and withdraw the introducer. There we go. There's a little plastic here protecting the flange. Comes out of the package like this. At this point, typically for any procedure, there is too much introducer hanging out of the tip of the stent. So what I'm going to do is bring that down to 3 finger lengths. So I'm going to unlock back here, withdraw until my introducer comes back inside my stent, until I've got about 3 finger lengths hanging out the tip. As far as language for this, I would always call this the introducer. At the tip of the introducer, we have a radio opaque marker, which we'll always see on fluoro. Here's our stent, the light blue. The stent does not have a radio opaque marker. The outline of the stent, however, can be seen on fluoro. And then the dark blue is the pusher. So pusher, stent, introducer. At this point, the stent we've locked here. This is ready to be handed to the physician. What we're gonna do is front load the stent onto the guide wire. You'll advance wire into here. The wire always kicks out early at the white and blue junction on the catheter. And then what we can do is slide the stent to the physician. They will advance it down the scope until it is in position in the duct. As they push the stent up into the duct, if there's ever a point in time where the introducer is preventing the stent from going further into the duct, you can always unlock, pull back the introducer until it is just inside the tip of the stent, and then they can continue to push the stent into the duct. Just as we showed with the large 3D model, at this point, if the physician is ready to deploy, we're going to remember to pull the guide wire and then fire, or pull the guide wire and then deploy the stent. So at the scope, we're going to remove the guide wire entirely. It's the end of the procedure, we don't need it. Then we're going to make sure we're unlocked here. We're going to withdraw the introducer. Once we get to the green marking on here, we could say to the physician, we're at the point of no return. And as we pull back about another 3 inches, the stent and the pusher are now disconnected from one another, and deployment has been completed.